Nobody is a fun, high intensity, well developed action movie that I definitely enjoyed. Yes, I know I'm behind. I'm a little late on the party. This movie was released, I think, a few months ago, but there has just been so much going on. I review so many different genres: anime, love stories, horror movies, with the MCU and Disney Plus. This movie just hasn't been on my radar, even though, this review is probably irrelevant now. But I figured, hey, I watched it, I enjoyed it, I will, give my 2 cents on it. And my 2 cents is that I enjoyed it, loved it. It definitely had that John Wick vibes. It is from the director that directed John Wick. I don't know how many or if all of them, but you definitely get those vibes from the way it's shot, from the action scenes to even some of the dialogue. And I ain't mad at it. If we're going to support movies like F9 that have the same cookie cutter approach to their movies, I do not mind directors having that same approach and saying, hey, this is my winning formula and I'm going to stick with it. And it paid off. It was enjoyable. Bob Odenkirk's performance made me believe that he was just an ordinary man, but an ordinary man with, I want to call assassin tendencies, but it's not. It's just special forces training. And the whole cast was great. The music was amazing. The acting was great. Everyone from, I can't remember her name, but I know it's Wonder Woman's mother. When I saw her, I was like, and she was so much taller than Odenkirk, so I was like, oh damn, she's huge. She's big, not big like in her weight, just height wise. She towered and took control of the screen, especially when they had those wide shots. And then we had Christopher Lloyd there. Like every time I was waiting for him to say, let's go back to the future. But his character was such a kick-ass character. I truly enjoyed it. I mean, I could go on and as far as naming off cast members, but all of them did top notch. The villain was kind of cartoony though. I would say that I was never really fearful for our hero when I started seeing this criminal. I was like, he's a goofball. And it almost seemed like he was one of those, criminals that fell into success, like maybe happened to assassinate the right person or kill the right person to get into power. But him having this whole, singing and being at a club, acting like a goofball, I was like, yeah, this dude is no kind of a real threat. And similar to what, John Wick movies, none of the villains I've ever, from every one of them, I've never once said, "Well, this is a challenge for John," and in this movie, I'll be like, this guy is no challenge for Hutch. Hutch could just destroy him real quick, and he does. He kills basically his whole squad, burns all of his money, and has this attitude like, yo, I could take you out in 1 second. You fucked with the wrong person, and here you go. Here's your medicine for fucking with me and my family. Because he goes, you don't fuck with family. I was like, yeah, you don't. You're damn right. One thing you don't do, I don't care what kind of field you are, if you believe you're a gangster or military or mob, one thing you don't do, you don't fuck with family, because once you fuck with family, bro, it's all out. Like, it's all out war, and there is no more restrictions at that point. But anyways, I give this movie a solid B. If the villain was a little bit more well developed, not as goofy, not just as silly as he was, I would have probably gave this movie a B plus, maybe even an A minus. But I'm not gonna say that it wasn't. I mean, it was action packed. The pacing was good, all that good stuff. But there is some parts in there where I was starting to not pay attention. But luckily, the movie had enough sense to know that was happening, where they just threw a curveball real quick, an explosion, something to grab your attention again, and you got sucked right back into the character. The plot was predictable, pretty easy. As you're going into the movie, you start on, like, you could call out your shots and be like, "Oh, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." But forget all that. It's still enjoyable. If you're sitting there for a date movie, that's how I watched it during a date. And it's definitely a guy's movie to watch for a date. Maybe the ladies won't probably enjoy it as much if your lady isn't into that whole action adventure kind of a thriller movie. It's an hour and 30 minutes, so it's not gonna take up a lot of your time. And I love the fact that it's an hour and 30 minutes. It feels perfect. Like I got a nice meal that filled me up, and it didn't have to go 2 hours and 20 minutes. So loved it. You'll enjoy it. Go out and watch it. It's on streaming. You could buy it on Amazon now. You could buy it on so many platforms, like $3 rentals now online. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't bash me on that this is too late already, but did you enjoy this movie? What did you think about the performance? Did you hate it? What did you hate? Do you agree that it was an entertaining movie? I mean, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let's have a discussion about this. And like always, that's a wrap.